The duck nesting box works best when they have dry straw. If it gets wet, they won't use it. They'll lay their eggs out in the wet grass. They won't lay their eggs in the nesting box with wet material. And it's been raining a lot lately. So they haven't been laying in the nesting box, which means we have to find all their eggs laying about in the, kind of out and about in the yard. Boys are doing their normal. They're in the back arguing over how to do something. Every day, never fails. Teenagers, huh? But they won't admit it, but they're best friends, but they'll never say it. But just doing some of the morning chores. We just moved let me pull it back here. Just moved the little red hen house. We still got to get the waters down. We got to get their feed and everything moved over here. We've been up here on top of the hill for longer than I had expected. Our lambs finally all finished lambing a couple days ago. They were in that paddock right over here. We're moving them, although some of them are still, with the baby lambs, it's a little bit harder to move them. We tend to just kind of give them their space. I think what the boys are going to do, they're going to close that end up and come over here and open up this divider and let these in. But they'll be over in this paddock for 2 days. So they're just getting things moved. Oh, and that's a new sheep shelter, although it will work for our cows as well, because our cows are Dexter. They're shorter. So a little bit of a shelter. I had to throw it together. It's not exactly what I want to do. I still want to take for any of you that know what a tobacco rail wagon looks like, I want to take a tobacco rail wagon and line the top with roofing material and maybe even put gutters on it for rain catchment. And that'll be easier to move, and we can also transport it on the road to be able to move to other properties. Whereas that thing's just on skis, wooden skis, so we can't move that thing on a road. Some of the these two chickens, the young chickens, they have basically adopted the sheep and goats because they stay in with them all the time. Anytime those two chickens come over here to get in with the other chickens, they get picked on really bad. They're the two youngest out here right now. We got some more in the brooder about to come out, but those two have been staying with the sheep and goats pretty much full time. And then here's our grasses. It's seeded out at the top. Not my favorite, but they eat it down pretty well. Hey, you want to move them in through this one? Just open it up. Oh. Baby goat, Nigerian dwarf goat with the baby Katahdin St. Croix ram, or a little lamb. We'll get them moved over here in a moment. We learned you don't want to rush the baby lambs. Their mamas get all stressed out and it doesn't go well. So when we move them, sometimes we just have to open up the sections and just give them their time. 3 there looks ugly as can all get out right now with all her winter coat is pulling off. Same thing, you can see it pretty easily with Red, our ram. They are they're Katahdin St. Croix, so they're a hair sheep. They're not wool sheep, but their hair kind of comes off in chunks. But 3's been struggling to get her hair off. I might have to grab her and just kind of lightly pull some of it off. It'll cool her down a lot. But we have been getting a ton of rain. So the sheep are, the sheep have been in fresh grass, but it's been really wet. Hopefully it dries up a little bit. We need it to for sure. But they're all in some nice lush thick grass for them to eat. And as always, there's Duke kind of standing by watching. So this is what I was talking about with the duck nesting box. And the chickens will go in there. Occasionally we get some chicken eggs in there, but they still tend to lay them in their own boxes here. But the ducks will use this consistently as long as it has dry bedding in it. We just use dry straw. But we've been getting rain after rain after rain, and this thing, even if I put it underneath the hen house where it's got a roof, it still tends to get wet, and they will not lay in there once it's wet. They'll lay in the wet grass, but they won't lay there. So we got this. It helps us collect our duck eggs, keeps us from having to go on a search every single day, because they can be hard to find at times. Especially, I mean, our paddock right now is pretty large, so, but that works as long as it's dry. It's got to be dry. Other thing, if you all are doing water systems like similar to us, we've got water tanks that come off the rain catchment, and then we have, these are actually, I think, sheep reservoirs from Premier One, water reservoirs. They work well. They do occasionally get clogged, and you've got to take the part there, you got to disassemble it and get the clog out. But we're on hillsides, so one of the biggest things you got to watch for is this is your float side. If this is tilted significantly down, you'll have all your water will run out there and your float won't stop it. So we have to watch that. When we set it up, we try to set it to where it's as level as possible, and try not to have it drain out. I can adjust the settings on the float to be able to make it so it doesn't, the water level doesn't raise as high, and that would probably help. But these work really well. I'm happy with them. They're a good purchase. So both of those work really well. Because, and here I'll show you, because it was raining the last few days, here's our duck eggs. Look at this. For any of you that haven't seen them before, those are 3 duck eggs. That's your standard eggs. They're more of a white color, but they're much bigger than a standard chicken egg. And they feel slightly different. Like the shell feels a little different. But they're whiter. They're consistently that color, but they're huge. It's an easy way to spot chicken eggs versus duck eggs. At least with the chickens we have. We don't have any chickens that lay eggs this large. So when we move everything, we move the little red hen house. We only move it every 3 or 4 days. The chickens have such a large paddock that they can handle being in one spot for 3 or 4 days before they move. The sheep move more consistently every day or every other day. But whenever we get them moved, and there's none in here now, whenever we open up their paddock, we got to make sure that we open up quite a few links, if not just remove the entire fence, depending on what's going on. Because if you only open up 1 or 2 of these sections, the chickens, like, they're some of the dumbest creatures ever. They won't be able to figure out how to get in and out of the paddock. They'll get stuck. They'll get on the back side of the fence, and they won't be able to figure out how to get back to their home to be able to lay eggs and perch at night. So you have to give them a really wide area to go through. And even then, sometimes they struggle. They're pretty dumb, but they do serve a good purpose. But I open it up even more than this back here. This to me is still not enough of an opening. They'll do okay with this. Well, I move like 4 links, something close to 20 feet, something thereabout. But even here, I'll open up a couple of these and just make it easier for them to get in and out of here. And another thing, I'll show it here in a second. When I set the fence back, like when I pull it back, I try to put it right up against the other one. I don't want a gap because you don't want chickens getting in here and getting stuck. Ask me how I know. It's not pleasant. So always kind of close them off so they can't get back in there. Looks like we still have the sheep water to move, but that won't take us very long. The sheep luckily don't drink a whole lot of water. We will give them fresh pails every day or two. As our flock expands though, we're definitely going to have to change that up. But for right now, they drink such little water that we just carry it in buckets or a garden hose, depending on where we're at, and fill it up. But I will one day have to change that and get more of a trailer designated for water with a little pump, something like that. But for right now, this is an easy system.